Welcome back to the Kilted Texan, and today I'm going to do something I've never done before. I'm going to try to clay bar my Cadillac. I've never clayed barred a car before. I watched a couple of videos to find out how to do it. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it right, but my hope is to make the paint look a little bit better. I normally run it through mechanical car washes, so you got some scrapes and scratch and swirl marks and things like that. And she got a couple of scratches right up on the driver's side pillar. We'll see that a little bit later. But my goal is to make it look better, make it look nicer, and make it look more high quality than it currently does. I mean, it's still a beautiful car, and it's, you know, from 5 feet away, it looks fantastic. But I'm going to use a clay bar on it today. Again, this is an experiment, so it may fail horribly. But I'm going to go ahead and put a link down in the description for the products that I use. It's just mother stuff. It's the standard stuff. I mean, it's nothing special. You can get it at Amazon. You can get it at, you know, auto parts stores, whatever. So I've got it down there if you want to see it, if you want to check it out, or if my results today look like something you want to try to replicate. So without further ado, let's get in it and start beating on the Cadillac and see if we can't make her look a little bit nicer. So what we're going to be using today is this Mother's 3 clay bar complete kit. If you want, I'll put a link down in the description if you want to check it out, or if we come out with results that actually look like something you want to do. Like I said, I've never done it before, so I figure we're going to give it a shot. We'll see what happens. One thing you're supposed to do after you clay bar is also do a wax. So what I got as far as that goes is I got a Mother's California Gold wax as well. So again, I'll put the link down in the description if you want to take a look. But this is the California Gold clay bars. So we're going to give her a shot, see what happens. We got my Cadillac CT6 plug-in, so and that hood still looks, I mean, it looks nice right now, but I'm hoping to see a big difference. Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to wash the car, and while this is not the ideal way to do that, I would say, you know, normally use buckets and hand washing and all that good stuff, but you might as well. You know, I got this membership and all this good stuff to do this, so it works out. And so I'm going to go ahead and get her washed. And this might be part of the reason why I got some scratches in the paint, because these particular wash types are extremely hard on the paint. So just be prepared to know that if you get one of these type of subscriptions or whatever, that it is going to be hard on the paint. First thing you need to know is that everything needs to be clean. Now this clay bar, what you do is you make a little, you know, kind of a rectangle, something that'll fit your fingers. And to use a lot of lube, you need to lube this thing up. If you start feeling resistance or grabbing or something like that, spray a couple more hits on it so that it moves nice. Now the other thing is move side to side and back and forth, straight lines. You don't want to move in circles, because if it does grab and scratch, you're going to end up leaving squirrel marks. The other thing you need to know is that you need cool paint. And I'm not talking about, you know, colder than the Dachshunds danglies in a snowstorm. All you need is shade, really. And the paint to start off cool. You don't want to start off with something that's been baking in the hot sun for a long time, and you just pull it in the shade and get started. So you need cool paint so that it keeps the lube from drying out really, really fast. But again, side to side, cool paint, side to side or back and forth, cool paint, lots of lube. You don't want it to end up grabbing or sticking, because that's bad. But what you do is you go through different sections at a time, go through and clean it. This is basically, it's just cleaning the paint. And then once you start noticing maybe some discoloration in that clay bar, what you'll do is you'll end up folding it over on itself until you reveal basically another clean surface. Essentially, you're kind of putting that grit and nastiness deeper down in the clay bar. And you don't need much. You just need a little section. You don't have to use the entire clay bar that comes with the kit. You can just use a little small section, kind of, and you'll see I'm kind of going back and forth here. This is actually removing some of the scratches, getting some of that crap out of the paint that's just all embedded in there, and you know, any overspray or nastiness or discoloration or oxidation that ends up being in there. So, you know, I'll show you the process here for a little bit, but here in just a little bit I'm going to stop showing you the process and just kind of show you the results, because I mean, you know, there's only so much you can take actually just watching the clay bar move back and forth. But here's the results of the passenger side of the hood. You can see, you know, it looks nice and deep. This is without applying the wax yet. So this is sans wax, as we would say. This is just removing that detailer stuff off of there. It kind of clouds up a little bit, almost like a wax itself, but well, kind of like a wax does. It's not like a wax, but you know, cleaning it up, you can see that paint looks nice and deep, nice and shiny. Guy going by, getting the trash cans there, but you can see him in high detail. So I mean, you can tell it does make paint look really nice and sharp, but with a little bit of wax on it does help. I didn't have the wax with me at this point, or I didn't have an applicator actually with me at this point to apply it there, but this is the results of the passenger side fender, passenger side fender. Here's the results of the driver's side hood, and you can see, I mean, it's nice and clean. And here I had a little scratch in the fender, kind of up and over the wheel. I don't know if somebody might have keyed it or maybe had a bag or something like that as they walked by in the parking lot. But I went ahead and I worked on it to try to clean up that scratch, and it did make a difference in it. It did remove most of the scratch. You can still see a little bit of the scratch. So I mean, it's not a perfect system, but it does make it look better, and better was what I was going for. So I'm pretty pleased with the results of it. You'll see it here in just a sec, but again, you know, going back and forth on it, basically smoothing it out and cleaning it up, and here it is, you know, removing the detailer on it, and you can see that paint looks nice and deep. You may actually be able to see the scratch there if you look close enough, but yeah, just cleaning all that detailer up off of it, and the paint looked super nice and deep and clean. So overall, an impressive difference. So she looks pretty good for a start. I just got the fenders in the hood, and now I am dying of thirst, so I'm gonna go into a little restaurant here, grab myself about the biggest unsweet tea I've ever seen in my life, and guzzle about 6 of them. And then we're gonna take a look at, there's a spot on the driver's side rear pillar that I'm gonna see about getting some scratches out of. And then we need to also get some wax on this thing. That's the kicker, getting wax on it. Then we'll put it out in the sun, but right now it's about 105 degrees in the dead sun, so I'm gonna go get in the shade with a big glass of tea. I'll see y'all in a little bit. You can see right up here, there's some good scratches right along this back pillar. Now I've got her plugged in, and I'm gonna work trying to get those scratches out with that clay bar. And that is kind of my main goal, to be able to get rid of those. So we'll see how it works. And here we go again with the process video. Anyway, what you need to be aware of here is you need to be aware of that edge, and you don't want to ride that corner, that edge too much, because I mean it's possible you could end up, you know, essentially sanding through the paint. But with a clay bar, it's nowhere near as dangerous as if you were using sandpaper, but still, you want to be mindful of that edge. But as you can see, we just kind of stuck along that edge, moving back and forth, trying to remove those scratches. I hit it a couple of times with the detailer. Again, just kind of working back and forth in that same area, just trying to get those scratches to clear. The side of the pillar turned out really, really nice, but you'll see here in just a sec. And again, you know, kind of going back and forth on it. But you can see here in just a sec, it didn't remove them completely. It did dull the scratches quite a bit, and the paint around it popped. It really looked so much better that, kind of your attention was drawn away from the scratches anyway. So it really was a plus, just a little less than I was hoping for. So now throwing a little wax on her, just trying to get in there and work in that wax, and then let it cloud up. And then once it clouds up, it comes off really easy. That California stuff, that Carnauba stuff, comes off way easier than that old turtle wax I used to use. Okay, those are only visible under that hardcore light now after the wax. I cannot see them with the naked eye, so I'd say it was a success. They're still there, but maybe a couple extra hits with the clay bar and the polish might help. We'll give her a shot. Okay, see how without that flash on, nothing. Let's see. Barely visible, even with the direct light on it. So I'd say it was a success. Some good stuff. Clay barring does help. The car looks a deeper color now, much deeper. So I say it's a plus. It works well. It didn't get the scratches out like I was hoping, but it did diminish them a lot. So I think I'm just kind of doomed to having those scratches there unless I do something drastic like wet sand it. So if you're going to crash into that like button and subscribe for more, and we'll see what else I can get out here and do a clay bar at 105 degree heat. Enjoy. We'll see you on the next one.